Welcome to Leaders of Tomorrow, India's only daily television platform for small businesses. We bring you the right information to empower you, the SME entrepreneur. Tonight on the show, we bring you highlights of a panel discussion that we did in Ahmedabad on being the SME capital of India, what makes doing business in that city so conducive for entrepreneurs, and what you as an entrepreneur should know about doing business there. My colleague Pooja Jain was in Ahmedabad to catch up with the who's who from the city as part of this panel discussion. Listen in.
Ahmedabad, in and of itself, has enjoyed an upwards of $65 billion GDP, which is staggering for any city on its own entirely. And so my first question, and I'd like to pose this to you, Shailini, Ahmedabad has often been described as India's most desirable business destination. As an outsider looking in, help me understand how much merit there is to that statement.
You ask a woman power. I think there are not many households where there is a woman doing clothes, doing catering, doing mehendi, doing this, doing that. The reason why I'm mentioning that first more than anything else, that is at the heart of the entrepreneurship of Ahmedabad and the Gujarati spirit. Of course, we have pharmaceuticals. Of course, we have lots and lots of other industries, collaborations, starting from Ambani, which is, of course, Guju. So all of that. But I think that the entrepreneurship spirit, khud ka kuch karna hai, I think that is the very heart of it all.
Nilesh, हमने अभी सुना, खुद का कुछ करना है. Do you think that forms the foundation of this city's entrepreneurial spirit, or are there other factors you would attribute that to?
What is the model of Gujarat? What is the plus point in Ahmedabad and Gujarat in business and MSME? And also today, we all are interested, we are facing the problem in MSME. And what is the solution out of that? If we can discuss something here on this platform, so I am 100% sure that like platform like ET now, our demand, our thing go in a very high scale, and it can be passed on to the consult authority and there. So, if you allowed me, so I say the first of all, in MSME, if you say like in Ahmedabad, all facilities are there related to business and their new development, even for family business, even for the government supports and other incubator centers, I create is there. There are a lot of things, opportunity related, infrastructure is very good, even private infrastructure also allowed. But the main thing is today we are facing the three things in MSME, especially that is one is finance, second is marketing and market, and third one is the whatever our existing business. And under that business, what is the new innovation, new technology? And we are on the all MSME we are going on the same way, and finally we are finished. So this is the biggest thing. I hope in this platform we can discuss something and we can find out some solution.
I certainly believe, sir, there are merits to exploring what are the bottlenecks that MSMEs are facing. And you know, Rajiv, I think I'd like to take the conversation to you at this point in time. Now, FICCI, for example, you know, is supposed to represent the voice of industry. So for MSMEs in the audience that are looking for access to capital, strategic guidance, mentorship, for example, as Sir mentioned, what are the resources available to them? Whose doors can they knock on? Very good question. In fact, MSME, you must be reading every day news scandals of the big companies having a problem for the repayments. Recently, last 2 days also, it has come. The banks become stricter on MSME to give a finance. In fact, they treat MSME as a step other treatment, basically. And banks are a biggest hindrance for progress of MSME today. And the capital is biggest problem. The payments also in the markets get delayed. The liquidity has dried. So there are everyday new challenges, new surprises for MSMEs. Whenever you go in the morning to the office, you know, you may plan things that we will do this productively, we'll try new technology, we'll increase production, we'll do this. But then you are stuck up into the problem-solving mode only. Well, Professor Morris, if these are where the dark clouds lie, where is the sunshine? Where's the light at the end of the tunnel in your view?
I'd put it something like this. Let me go back to your first question. Let's not miss it. I think Ahmedabad is a great place for entrepreneurship. The point is not that. As everybody says, infrastructure is good, government is pro-business. All of that is fine. But, you know, an entrepreneur does only as much or can do as much as the macroeconomy permits. And the macroeconomic situation right now is kind of quite bad. The credit, liquidity side, down and out. Hopefully it would not fall, collapse. The RBI or others will do something about it. There was always this bias against MSMEs by the banks, and that has got heightened now. In fact, there's hardly any credit coming out of banks, so MSMEs, I'm sure, would be you know, on the tough side of things. Let me just outline some of the things, you know, which could have worked in favor of MSMEs, or for that matter, manufacturing. See, I'd put it something like this. If manufacturing in India grows, the MSMEs naturally grow, because that's where the real fort is. Unfortunately, right from the reform period, our policies have not been particularly gung-ho about manufacturing. We have believed that let's leave manufacturing to China. It's only now that, you know, we have a Make in India, at least at a slogan level, there is a consciousness. But what you need to do, I don't think we are getting it right. Entrepreneurs have to find, you know, specific niches. Can I do this? You know, can I set up something with selling food maybe, or selling food a new way? So it's actually quite interesting that there are so many people who want to be entrepreneurs. It's a positive thing, but it's not very exciting when all of them want to do the same thing, which is to set up websites, which is to set up, you know, trading portals and so on and so forth. Okay? Because all of that doesn't add up. Where is the technology-based entrepreneurship? You know, innovation-based entrepreneurship? That's not happening here. It's happening a little bit elsewhere, but the overall constraint of demand and growth kind of comes in the way.
Well, Mayank, I'd love for you to respond to, you know, what Sir has just said here. Is there sort of an overdose of a Me Too strategy and a lack of innovation that you're seeing, especially given your role heading the incubator?
I believe Ahmedabad has slightly lagged behind cities like Bangalore or NCR or Bangalore or Mumbai in terms of having technology-based entrepreneurships, or what we call startups in simple words. But it has lagged behind. It has not fallen back. I believe there is a huge number of startup founders, entrepreneurs with a fantastic technology background. They are coming up with very interesting startups in various areas, as diverse as agriculture, business, to drones, to electronics, to robotics. I have seen them, and Government of Gujarat also is very progressively supporting these startups.
Jaimin, I'd love to bring you in here. Now, when one thinks of Ahmedabad, the traditional industry is what comes to mind long before technology. Is that changing? Is the perception changing, and is the reality changing on a ground level?
I will not blame anyone, but I will blame ourselves only. What we want business. We want entrepreneurship. But are we ready to accept those entrepreneurs? No. We want product from Samsung, Nokia, iPhone, but if at all, somebody like me, Gujarati entrepreneur, wants to come out with my product, we are not ready to accept that. And that is why our own startup ecosystem in Gujarat is not taking off too much. Yes, it's a robust startup ecosystem. We are emerging city as per NASSCOM and KPMG report, but our own ecosystem is not accepting our own talent.
Now, Rajiv, do you agree with Jaimin's point of view here that there is a resistance to accepting homegrown products and services? And if so, what's the solution to that? Because that would presumably be the first step for an SME to climb the ladder of success.
I slightly disagree with Jaimin. If the product is robust, is the branded product of international standard, I think the acceptability and it is priced correctly, people will accept the product of local technology. There won't be any problem. But of course, we see more advertising, and there is a brainwash advertising of telephones, which are cheaper, much cheaper, or even a computer. Brainwash in televisions and the medias and everywhere, which we can't afford as a SME or a small industries. So we can't do that. But if we can give a guarantee, like whatever, 5 years, 3 years, free replacement guarantee, and we give us services, definitely the local product can come very well as a success story in Gujarat.
In case of MSMEs, another problem comes is the scale, the growth. And the growth can come nowadays, the scalability that we are talking about comes only from technology. A new technology either has to be developed, or if somebody has developed it, it has to be bought, paid for, used. If this is done, perhaps to some extent, MSMEs problems can be solved. I also like to highlight here, since we are talking about policies, India's ranking in the ease of doing business, according to the last ranking, was 99. Before that, it was 130th. It is not a is not a fact that we should be proud of. China is much better, and US is in first top 10. Singapore, or I think New Zealand is, or Finland, they are the top rankers. If all the schemes are withdrawn, all the government support schemes are withdrawn, and government just focuses on making it easy to do business, I think MSME, not only MSME, all businesses will thrive and grow. I think this is what it is required.
We're going to take a very quick break on that note, but on the other side, we're going to continue debating the pros and cons of doing business in Ahmedabad and why it's lending itself to the title SME Capital of India. Just stay tuned. Welcome back with us here on Leaders of Tomorrow. And tonight, we're continuing to bring you highlights of a panel discussion that we did in Ahmedabad. As always, we're traveling across the length and breadth of the country to connect better with you, the SME entrepreneur. Stay tuned. We'll tell you where we're heading to next.
Some fascinating points here, and I want to harp on one in particular. So, Mayank, you made the point that some of the biggest bottlenecks to innovation lie in our academic system, essentially. And so what I'd like to explore, particularly in the context of Ahmedabad, and Shailini, my question is to you, is there adequate overlap between, say, the startup community and the student community, or do they exist in independent silos in your view?
In fact, I was dying to talk about when everybody talked about the price, because I really believe price and value are two different things. So that is an answer to certain. Regarding the training side of it, I come from, or I deal with artisans. I deal with the spinners and weavers and artisans, and they are all SMEs, small and medium industries as well. And they all are thriving in their own way. They are self-employed, they do their own work. Somehow, Make in India, when MSMEs are considered, those artisans are not really considered as part of their team because they are not highly technical, highly factory-based or something. They could be a small family businesses doing extremely well. Answering to your question about the training, even they need training. Even they need training for the children, their family. And one of the problems has been that we talk about Make in India, we talk about Skill India and all of that. And I strongly feel that those people who really are trained, who are already skilled, they just need added skill, they need added support. And those things are not easily available to them. And that is why even in those communities, there is an apathy that the children of those artisans don't really want to go back, partly because we have not really respected the crafts, and craft has not been valued. Don't undervalue crafts. Crafts, if you go to Japan, if you go to China, if you go to if you go to Thailand, I mean, the crafts are the most expensive and most valued, and they are the identity. Even in our country, handlooms and handmade wooden things, and the brass work and metal work and all of that, they are highly valued. These are our national identities. And how much are we really thinking about it? How much are we considering them as small industries and supporting them? And I think that is where the training side of it has to be put in, awareness side of it has to be put in, and value has to be seen differently as a national pride, and they are holding the flag. And if we don't do it, They're all going to die. All those crafts that we are so proud of, they are dying one after the other.
Absolutely. That offers me, a great overview of what's happening at the urban level and at the rural level. And, Professor, I'd love to bring you in at this point. Now, I believe that Gujarat's unemployment rate is just shy of 1%, which is extremely low. It's compared to the national average of 5%. So do you attribute that to pro-industry policy? Is the government doing something right that other states need to emulate?
Just let me state this, that among all the states, Gujarat has been most successful in attracting manufacturing industry. And particularly of the two kinds. One is the heavy infrastructure, kind of material intensive, port-based kind of industries, public sector and so on. And then the second thing is, of course, the, what one would call runaway industries, that is highly labor-intensive industry in clusters and so on. Because policies here are pretty much pro-entrepreneur, pro-business, which is good. So, in a sense, Gujarat provides more employment to people outside the state than does almost any other state. In fact, if you remove the impact of Delhi and Mumbai and Mumbai on Maharashtra, then Gujarat, without a metro town, actually offers more employment to people outside than anywhere, than any other state. So, in a sense, the growth of Gujarat and its continued, the point that it occupies is very, very important. That means, what is Gujarat? I mean, Gujarat is not particularly technology-oriented or innovation-oriented entrepreneurship, but that's fine. Some part of the country needs to do that kind of work, of producing the same goods cheaper, better, in larger quantities, and so on and so forth, more cost-effectively for exports, and so on and so forth. And Gujarat has parked itself there, and Gujarati entrepreneurship suits that. So what's wrong with that? But if that can't thrive, then there is a problem. It doesn't mean that every one of us should start imitating Bangalore and chase the IT boom. Some of us who can, some of us who could, will do that.
Jaymin, this question is for you. Is there an increased appetite for risk in this city of Ahmedabad? And does that essentially explain the entrepreneurial growth spike that other cities have not witnessed by even a margin?
I fully agree with you that appetite is already there because in our DNA, we are a risk taker. So, and I always, I'll not go into manufacturing because I don't know about manufacturing, but in IT industry, we are disruptive right now. We see a biggest boost in terms of startup and SME segment when it comes to IT. IT doesn't mean only services, but nowadays having technological implementation like IoT, artificial intelligence. So all those things are getting implemented in Indian SME industry. We might not be aware that this is the first time in the IT industry history that India IT growth has overtaken our exports. So currently our IT growth, IT implementation growth, adoption growth in India is 12%. Our market is $41 billion. And why I am giving these statistics? Because all those industries, they are suffering for their survival. They want to increase their bottom line. They want to rid away from labor issues. They are implementing IT solutions. And that is why next growth in IT industry is in SME as well as in startup ecosystem as far as employment is concerned. So, and along with IT industry is also disrupting. We are disrupting and we are also having, facing that heat which you asked her to reply about skills. We are also right now going for disruption. So right now our own people, we are going through a chain that right now we are unlearning ourselves and then relearning new technologies.
Jaymin bhai said about the, I have to say only one thing, in any business, I also agree that we don't bother about what is new coming and what is our future threat also in our own business. But one thing is there, if we think very honestly, is it not the fault of our education system? If you go through our education system, it is a very hardcore, I say. Today in the market or in either management student, either IT or business, there is no e-commerce, there is no cross-border business related, any knowledge, nothing. If research and any other things also, you say, there is nothing in our education system. There is industries, institute, interactive cell. There is one name is there everywhere, in the whole over Gujarat, everywhere, all chamber, everywhere we are doing this activity. But what is real sense about it? If you see the syllabus of the UGC, AICT, DT, even ITI, where? Even from in this country, IIT, first day is a fresher in any company. He doesn't know anything about that.
I think we are living in an age where the word disruptive that has been used, I think we are going to be disrupted again and again and again. The way the technology is moving, the way our lifestyle is going, we have to constantly reinvent ourselves. Whatever academic education that, I mean, we didn't know when we were students how to work a computer or how to work a mobile phone or how to work the technology, IT technology. But these are the things I think we have to all have to accept for today and for the leadership for tomorrow, that we all have to accept that we have to be constantly be in a lifelong learning process. We have to be reinventing ourselves. We have to be finding new ways of doing things. If we don't do it, we will be left behind. And again, not just following somebody else, but taking the leadership as well.
This city is as competitive as it is collaborative. And that's perhaps the underlying secret to its success. So with that, the Leaders of Tomorrow intends to bring many such sessions across the country to help impart expert business advice and also celebrate your success stories, the SMEs. Thank you so much.
All right, that's our show tonight. If you have any feedback for us, here's how you get in touch. leadersoftomorrowtimesgroup.com is our email ID. You can also get in touch with us on social media. Sunanda_J is my personal Twitter handle. LOT_ET now is our official Twitter handle. Our Facebook page is Leaders of Tomorrow on ET Now. Thanks for watching, and as always, do keep your comments coming in.